that maybe potentially
And I look like JLR. Hello, I'm live. Oh, I'm practically in the dark here. I'm in my bed, getting ready to go to sleep, listening to Radical Self, Jared Mello on. I always get his the wizard, the wizard of radical self-respect. So I'm listening to his live because he does the late night lives for all of us. He gets big crowds too. For those of us, oops, hang on a second. Those of us who are night owls, or overnighters or whatever. Like, because sometimes just want to turn it down some. He's got, and what he does is he reviews all the true crime content creators. Uh, some of the independent people and some of, just the true crime creators, and then some of the actual, like, uh, like News Nation. But he mostly, like, does independent creators. But he has Ashley Banfield. Did I just burp? He has Ashley Banfield on, and I can't stand her. Ever since she all she's doing now, because this she had this video, um, saying that her impeccable source says that Savannah's brother-in-law is the prime suspect, and she shouldn't have done that. She's supposed to be Savannah's friend, which that's a crock of shit. She's just a clout chaser, but she but now that, like, the sheriff, well, he's another piece of work, but it seems like the family's been cleared and nothing's really come out. You just never know, but still, she should have not have done that. uh Journalist integrity, which she does not have. But she's all her shows are kind of like she is gonna, like, quadruple down on that, her impeccable source. And also, she wants to, like, she has so many, like, weird kind of people on now, but she just wants to, like, crack this case because um she wants to restore her journalistic integrity, or she wants to prove that she was right. And she wants, but it's not going to happen. She's just digging her hole even deeper when she does this, and she's losing more and more credibility, in my opinion, and also to fellow chatters. It's like, she's just all about just trying to recap that. And now, because Brian Enton, he just likes to sit on the fence there, and and he's got his own little thing going on. But he's like kind of like dissing her. He's kind of like low key, like, he had a little short or video come out saying about people, just capitalizing on rumors and stuff like that. Like, you know, he's like throwing her shade. So now she's throwing shade at him because she's like, well, my sources and his sources are not jiving. So now they have like competing sources. So he's like, my source says, and even Savannah said no blood was inside. She says my source said there was blood inside. I mean, come on now, people. Now you're really showing your asses. Now you're really looking stupid. Like, people who are not professional journalists, creators who are not professional journalists, are looking more credible than you are. Even Brian Enton, because he's hung up on Sheriff Nanos, who is refusing to give him an interview. So he's kind of holding that against him. I look like a hot mess right now. I don't care. I'm getting ready to go to bed. I got to get up because I am going to church. And I went to church again today. So I've been going to the Episcopal Church because I like their service. So they had the vigil, Easter vigil, which I don't think I ever went to Easter vigils. Like, I don't know. Like, when I was going, where I was baptized, my first communion, my confirmation, I even went to the school, uh, you know, uh, I was a couple of months old when I was baptized in that church. So, and I used to, back in the day when you could, I used to go to church by myself. Like I was a little kid. I'm talking, I was like 6, 7 years old because it was right across the street. And I used to just go, and it was the masses were in Latin. And I used to go and used to love just to sit there and listen until when I got older and then, got to see how evil these nuns were. Oh, it was horrible. I learned that real quick. But anyway, um, yeah, I used to go by myself. Like my mom and dad never pushed religion on us, but my dad's Irish Catholic, but my grandmother, his mother was Protestant because she was English, and his dad was Irish, and that was kind of like a mixed marriage they considered back in the day, right? And then my mother, um, so my great grandmother was indigenous, and my other great grandmother's French, and so um, I think they were Protestant, but they didn't really practice, um, you know. So, so we weren't just because our family is so blended and mixed, and so all different kind of cultures kind of swirling around. So, but I mean, we had if there was any influence was from the Roman Catholic, but and they let us, I guess, figure it out on our own, like whether it was for us or it's something that we were. Yeah, they didn't go to church, so I mean, I guess they. I don't think my father ever went. But I tell you, when when my father was dying, he was like making sure that I knew he wanted his last rites, and he wanted the Catholic burial. Like he um, he wanted to make sure that I knew that. I mean, within hours of him passing, and it's like I know, Dad, and he died on Holy Week. So actually, this week is the 11th anniversary. He died on April 1st, which is so like him. So he died on April 1st, and he died in my arms, and so you know, which was a good thing. I held him, but he's so when I called my sister and she said, Tina, the rent is due today, and it is April Fool's Day. And it's just so much something my dad might have held out for and was probably happy about that because he shafting his landlord because they like that building was horrible and he turned them in a lot, and all the residents there, they were so ugh, tore up when he passed because he was their advocate. Like, if they weren't running the heat and if they were mistreating the residents, um, he turned them in. And when he turned them in, um, they said, well, do you want to, Freddie, do you want to remain anonymous? And he's like, no, I want them to know that it's me turning them in. And yeah, and so something happened with, they were doing like auto pay or whatever, and they messed up or something on his rent. And so they were like, telling him, you actually owed us more. And so now we got to put you on, now you owe us this money. So he worked out a deal with them, like a payment plan to kind of get caught up. And I found the ledger. And so he passed owing them. He never got caught up on it. Um, yeah, I still have all that stuff. So he went out still owing them money, which I know would make him because like sticking it to the man. But he did advocate for everybody in that building. And a couple other things. And in New York, in the city, when they created 311, the 311 system, boy, I tell you, because I had to call when he passed. It's just stuff happened, and man, the Justice Department was right on it, like, and they resolved it quickly. So I was really impressed. And my mom has used the 311 system too, and they do, especially seniors. They're right on it. So, but anyway, I just totally went off the rails on that. But anyway, this is the week of my father's passing, 11 years ago. So I don't know. I've been to church, like I said, raised Roman Catholic, but it just really hurts my soul that they won't come into the present time because they're just losing, um, parishioners. They're just losing people. Like, so I've been going to the Episcopal services, and, they have, I mean, the churches are not full anymore. They're just not. But, I mean, they had a decent amount, and they partnered with another church. So, local church. So, I mean, where I'm at, like in New York, every block has a bagel store. Where I'm at, every block has a church. There's all denominations. I don't know where there's a synagogue around here somewhere, and there's a mosque. Um, but yeah, there and really, and a lot of these churches are very ornate, and they're from like the 1700s. So and at one time, I mean, they're just like very ornate. But yeah, one church just closed its doors, which is sad. It was like on Main Street, but they do still do some work out of there. But I think community college, they're allowing the community college to hold some classes there. I don't know, but it's a shame. These buildings are so beautiful too. It's a shame, because it is a community thing, and if they could keep it in the present, if they can be relatable, if they can be a place of actual safety and comfort, they would do so well. But they have to get away from the Catholic Church, especially the wrath of God, and excluding people, you know, because of who they love or who they choose to be or whatever. You know, Jesus would be hanging out with all of us, kookies, messy people, because he was a messy person. He would be, we would be at his table. I guess we would all be at his table. But anyway, so I've been going to, so they had nice service. And so I was trying to remember if I would go to Easter Vigil and all that, because they're long services. So tomorrow I'm going to go up to the, uh, is it Methodist or Protestant? Methodist maybe church earlier, but then I'm going to come back down for the main service to Episcopal. But anyway, I'm just rambling now. But I don't know, just if you hit the right service, I don't know if I'm going to make it a habit or ritual or whatever, but I'm going to, try. And then I know if I wanted to, I could bring Cassie and with my dog. I could bring, because I brought them into church before when Zeus was around too. Um, but I could bring her in for sure at the Episcopal church. Um, they had a blessing of the animals not too long ago, and I forgot about it. But I might bring her into it. And I think I probably could bring her over to the other church too. Catholic church, I don't know. I mean, I could put her service vest on and bring her in, but I'd be getting side eye from people I know. I mean, you know, I don't know. It's like um, I'm rambling because the reason I was coming on, so I was watching. Who was I watching? That oh, I want to watch um, Down the Rabbit Hole News because she had some stuff on there. But who was just talking about JLR? Oh, Jolene Lunzer. She's a comedian. I watch her channel. She's funny. She makes fun of the creators um, and the grifters. So right now she's on Web Sleuths. Trisha Griffith. She is a shyster though. She's a scammer. There's some stuff going on with one of her members who pretty much supported her passed away, and she in her will, um, she had left all her money to animal shelters and stuff. I guess it's running out a lot of money, and her financial advisor of 31 years found the will, and now this Trisha from Web Sleuths is um, took her to court, and she's trying to become the admin. She's only known the woman for a couple of years before she died. She was a viewer on her channel, and she ended up. It's just this whole messy situation. So if you want to know about it, go to Jolene Lunzer, Lunztr. Go to her channel because she has a comedic twist on it, but she's covering it hardcore, and I like her. She's funny, and she is yeah, it's Lunzer. So Jolene, Joleen, not Leen, not like Jolene. Every time I hear her name, I think of Dolly Parton. Jolene, 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 Jolene. Blah blah blah. But anyway, Joleen Lunzer. She's a comedian and a writer, but she's funny. I like the way she presents and the comedic twist, but she's serious about finding out what this Trisha Griffith is doing. Uh, um, yeah, she spells her Trisha Tricia, but Web Sleuths. So a lot of true crime followers know about Web Sleuths. But anyway, oof, that's a hot mess story, and I'm curious on how that ends up because she was. I didn't. I got on the live late, so I didn't catch it. I'll have to rewatch the beginning because I guess she got some documents, uh, interviews, and it turns out that not only was she getting a lot of money from this one woman, she was getting a lot of money, like like begging and crying to other subscribers and members of her channel for more money. So I don't know. I gotta go back and watch that. But that's crazy, crazy, crazy. These people, do they not? They're online. Do they not know like that your shit is gonna come out? Like all the shit that you do is gonna come out. Um, if you start acting up, if you start like ripping people off and being stalkers and bullies and um, hurting people and ripping people off, do they not think that they're going to get exposed for who they are? You know, I mean, all our shit is out there. So I don't know. But anyway, so uh, yeah, I like her take on it, and she's also um, her parents are she's from Minnesota, and so her parents are big time advocates and you know uh, protesters and all that, So, and she's very outspoken, like I am, about the felon illegally squatting in the White House for the second time, and he should be under the prison. I put that, I said that, or I made a comment about the felon, and somebody replied to my comment, and they're like, he's gonna sue you for calling him a felon, and I'm like, hello, he is a felon. He is a convicted felon. So, and like he said, he loves the uneducated. So, ugh, people. But anyway, I actually forgot why I came on here because he still has Ashley on. I don't really want to listen to her because she's just bringing people on to try and crack the case, which is not going to happen. And she's just digging a hole deeper and deeper of losing her credibility. And I hope Savannah's brother-in-law goes after her for doing that because she ruined his life pretty much. People are still talking about him. But I forgot why I came on. I came on. Oh my God. It's time for me to go to sleep because I got to get up really early because service at this one church, well, what they have is a free breakfast, which I probably won't really eat because, you know, free breakfast from 8 to 9, and then they have some kind of like maybe Bible study or something. But I'll probably sit with my neighbor because two of my neighbors go to the Episcopal church, and then my one neighbor, new neighbor, she goes to the other church. So, but I'll just go and I'll sit there for a while, but then I'm going to come back to the Episcopal church. I'm church shopping. And there's a couple other churches around here I want to go to. Um, and if I'm welcomed, I'll go to the mosque. If I can figure out where the synagogue is, well, synagogue, that's, you know, I don't know. I've been to synagogues in Brooklyn because there's synagogues, you know, I've been inside a synagogue. So I don't know if I would be allowed to go into it. I wouldn't even know what the ritual was. And this is Passover week, isn't it? I'm just curious. Passover, yeah, it is. The 1st to the 9th. And Passover is a major 8-day Jewish holiday, 7 days in Israel, starting on April 1st, 2026, celebrating the biblical exodus of the Israelites from slavery in Egypt. Yeah, we talked about that at, there were readings about that today. Central traditions include holding a Seder meal, eating matzah, unleavened bread, so matzah balls or not matzah, um, avoiding leavened grain products, and retelling the liberation story. Yeah, so they escaped from the Egyptians, and the sea was parted by Moses, and so they were able to get across. And then when the Egyptians followed them, the ocean closed up on it. Which I was like, when they were telling the story, and I was like, man, God was kind of like, oof, ooh, he was a lot, like rabbit, uh, rabbit down the rabbit hole news. I don't know what her name is. I thought I saw somewhere that it was Alex, but she doesn't look like an Alex. But she always says you're doing too much. She's doing too much. She's doing too much. Oh, you know. So, key aspects of Passover significance. The holiday commemorates the Israelites' liberation from slavery in Egypt and the 10th plague, where God passed over the homes of, oh, the home, sorry, where God passed over the homes of the Israelites. Dates 2020. It begins at sundown on Wednesday the 1st and ends after nightfall on Thursday the ninth. The Seder, a ritual-filled festive meal held on the first and often second night, featuring the reading of the Haggadah. Haggadah. The Haggadah is a foundational Jewish text that sets forth uh, the order of the Passover Seder. Dietary restrictions: no leavened uh, bread or grain products. So it's chametz. Chametz is eaten, allowing only unleavened bread, matzah. Key items: the Seder plate includes symbolic foods, mara, bitter herbs for the bitterness of slavery, shank bone, pashel, sacrifice, and sharaset, fruit nut mix. Observance: the holiday is primarily observed at home and is marked by deep cleaning the home to remove all shemetz before the holiday begins. So you got to take everything out, the grain and stuff. Um, it's interesting. Um, and there is. I do have a Jewish line. I think the reason why it didn't get carried down is because of anti-Semitism and then fear of death. I mean, like, eh, uh, I have great grandparents who fled France. So I think a lot of Jewish families, um, ancestors or whatever, they kind of got away from it to save their lives, you know, because of what was coming down the pike. But I mean, I grew up in Brooklyn, and there was a lot of Jewish influence. I grew up around a lot of Jewish, um, so I know a little bit of Yiddish, and so I had some influences from that, you know, like a little sprinkle of everything. So now I know what I was going to talk about because I had pulled up my YouTube feed. So let me look at this one here. This one YouTube feed, it was okay. The Wizard of Radical Self Respect. So why Nancy Guthrie was not taken for ransom. So who knows? Nobody knows. No one knows. Um, then we got Scott Rouse, who I do not like this man at all. And actually, I proved him wrong on something. I forget what it was. He's like a maggot, um, and I don't know why he's in my feed. Because maybe because I looked up the Koenig versus Koenig. He said, she said, he said, she said, Koenig versus Koenig, body language and behavior. Did Dr. Koenig versus his wife in court? Who looked credible? This guy's a quack. The Scott Rouse, much like Dr. Koenig trying to tell everybody that she tried to throw him off the cliff. It's like, okay, buddy, we believe that. The Deadliest Drive. Oh, Dearly Departed tours with Scott Michaels. I like his channel. He used to have a touring company in LA of all the stars and stuff. Driving Tour number 10. Dead Man's Curve Exposed. The Deadly Driving Tour. Yeah, he has, interesting content. Jenna Miscavige on Pam Bondi, or Evil versus Evil. Yeah, Pam Bondi got fired. So who's next? So he's gonna go through the women. Yeah, whatever. So Christy Nome, Pam Bondi, what's her face? Homeland Security. Oh my God, Homeland Security. What is her name? But they're all quacks. They're all like nutcases. They're all nutcases. Oh, how did he get in there? Oh, okay, that was Christy Nome. Wait a minute now. He's the current Homeland Security. Oh, he was sworn in. How did he get sworn in? I thought he had to get approved by Congress. I mean, that they confirmed, the confirmation was confirmed, 54 to 45 vote. Oh, initial action reminded blah blah blah. Oh, what Democrats voted for him? I'm just looking at. I didn't know he got officially sworn in. See, this is how much I'm like so getting over all these people and just get them all out. Because I think he's going to be worse than Christy Nome, Mark Wayne Mullen. Let's see. So he is facing scrutiny regarding contracts from the previous administration. Hmm. I see something in the news feed saying something about Mark Wayne Mullen has started making policy changes at DHS. Some GOP lawmakers, what? What? Yeah, whatever. Who cares? Um, I want to see who. Because some of these Democrats who voted with Republicans to confirm. Let's see. Democrats who voted with Republicans to confirm Mark Wayne Mullins. The the Senate confirmed Republican, blah blah blah. Yeah, 54 to 45, blah blah blah. Yeah, John Fetterman. He just needs to go and just become, because he's a maggot, snuck in there. Martin Heinrich of New Mexico crossed party lines to support the nominee. Are you fucking kidding me with these people? Rand Paul voted against it. Ruben Galejo from Arizona did not vote. You might as well have voted then. When you do not vote, you're voting. Yeah, pieces of shit, these people. Really, pieces of shit. It doesn't matter if they're the majority, if he would have won it anyway, no matter what. Why are you showing your ass? Well, because you are. You got in under false pretenses, acting like uh, you don't support this administration and all their evilness, when you actually do support this administration and all their evilness. You just snuck in there, stealthy, low key, and then showed your ass, whatever. you know Oof. Okay, I got sidetracked. Hang on a second. Anyway, so Jenna Miscavige. So she is. I don't know why she's in my feed. I think this is just my general feed. Um, her is Lore. I don't even know the name of her channel. It's weird. The best book I've ever read. Books are sick. Okay. I follow some book people. True Crime with the Sarge. How AI is solving cold cases. Oh, Ash Gahami of Crime Owl on the future of AI, I guess. Interesting. Uh, somebody, I don't know who she is, Never Shaving My Face Again, trying Marilyn Monroe's beauty secrets with Vaseline. She just used Vaseline. Oh, here. I'm going to play this real quick. Can I? Will it mess me up? Trisha. That's Jolene Lunzer, and she's talking about uh, the Corey Richards case, which Trisha Griffin from Web Sleuths is covering, and she just and she actually I think kind of really liked her, and the Web Sleuth thing until she found out all this crazy shit. I also follow Poppy the prairie dog. She turned 6 a couple days ago. 6 years old. Their lifespans are 6, 7. Cute, cute little. He it's a rescue. This guy rescued her, and she's cute. Pope Leo. I watched. Let me make sure I'm still on because I ran this. Yep, I'm still on. Okay. Pope Leo. I was listening to the Vatican service on my way to the Episcopal service. Um, so he's holding his mass in Latin, but there was an interpreter, and he's American. So and so Pope Leo the 14th makes a joke in English. Okay, let's listen. Yeah. See, I like Pope Leo. I like Pope Francis. So I think they're trying to get that door open. They have to because they're losing people. They're losing people. And he speaks, I don't know how many languages. Like my grandmother spoke like 7 languages fluidly. Spoke it, read it, wrote it, whatever, fluidly. Um, my other grandmother spoke only French. No, I think she spoke other languages too. But she refused to speak English when she came over here. Refused. So until the age of 10, I spoke and understood French. But when she passed, then poof. But her daughter, my grandmother, she spoke, but they were so worried about assimilating. They didn't want to get booted. So they it was like, yeah, it's sad. But anyway, he speaks well. I mean, you can't really hear any kind of trace of American. You know, I don't know. I could be wrong though. Two by three's parents got married yesterday. I don't even know who this. I started watching this one woman share something, but I don't think I like her. Um, Glorious Life on Wheels, The Diary of a CEO clips. So the Diary of a CEO, he had this guy on talking about the Bible and how many authors and how many people have contributed to it. It was just not the long form because his show is usually really long. But yeah, what's this? What is this? Musculoskeletal syndrome, a lesser known condition of menopause. CTV News. So this is Canadian news, which I have watched, been known to watch. That makes sense. All right, I'll have to watch the rest of that. It's only a couple minutes long, but I have to like that and make sure I watch that because that is important. But I don't take any. I don't do any hormonal treatments or anything like that. I actually didn't have any symptoms. I had other symptoms of menopause, but I didn't have like some women have extreme um, hot flashes and extreme symptoms. I really didn't. But yeah, I did not know that it could increase your inflammation, which is not not good, and then part of the joint pain. Interesting. So I will watch that once I get off here. I'm curious about that because I would rather do homeopathic treatments, but and my doctor is a DO. Um, um, Doctor, and they're more of like a so it's doctor of osteopathic medicine, and an MD is doctor of medicine, and they're both fully licensed physicians who can prescribe medication, perform surgery, and work in any specialty. The main differences are that DOs receive additional training in holistic preventative care and osteopathic manipulative medicine (OMM), while an MDs follow a traditional biomedical model. So that's why I won't like my doctor now is over an hour away. Well, maybe not that far, but well, yeah, I guess round trip. But he's a DO, and so I would much prefer to because I'm of the mindset of you know if at all possible, no medication. Um, and so I'm not, and my mother's 86. She doesn't take any medication. So, and I follow her health track. Um, so, when I have gotten medication for my ADHD, and it's like, no, I try it here and there, but I've lived with ADHD my whole life. Um, and, while I, you know, I've certainly screwed up my life in certain areas and stuff, and uh, but you know, I'm just not. I guess just because the way I was brought up, I'm not like. I suppose if I had, diabetes and it was a life, I forget which diabetes 102, where if you don't get insulin, you're dead. So I suppose if that was the scenario, then yeah, I would take it. But for me, I'm lucky, like I've been very lucky health wise and stuff. So yeah, I'm not on any medication. And you know what's weird? And my doctor, being a DO, is for that, like the holistic and preventative care. So it's that is, it's easy to work with him, but because MDs, they're just constantly pushing meds, you know. So that's why I will stick with my doctor. Um, and, as long as he's practicing. And if I had to get another family doctor, I would go for a DO. But I mean, I do have, medication for anxiety that I do not take unless I feel as though I'm starting to spiral. And again, uh, my therapist said to me once, because Cassie was on her anxiety medicine, and after we lost Seuss, her separation anxiety just exploded. And, so she said, why, like, why don't you, like, when your anxiety, why don't you treat it like you're treating, Cassie? You make sure you don't want her to be in that state. So you make sure she has her medication, and you won't do that for yourself. I'm like, well, because she really doesn't have a choice. Like, uh, like, uh, like she's not understanding why she's like, you know, and so if I can ease her discomfort, um, then I'm happy to do that because, um, the medication, we finally found the medication that worked for her. I'm not going to give her medication where she's going to be like knocked out or catatonic or, just like, they gave her Prozac. I'm like, Prozac. So I tried it and she couldn't even pick her head up. I'm like, I am not giving this dog, I don't want her on a medication where she's not herself. I just want to like ease her anxiety. And the trazodone actually did that and didn't change her personality. She's still active. Um, she's not a zombie dog. She is, um, she is herself. It just took the edge off, um, of that anxiety. But when she got that belly upset and stuff, and I took her off of it, yeah, I'm able to leave her and go to the store and do some errands and stuff and leave her. And I have a camera on her, and she's seems to be doing okay. I see increases in her anxiety, like I was talking about at the vet and stuff. So I might put her back on it if I'm seeing like if I leave for a few hours and I see that she's not handling it well. We were on the elevator the other day and I could feel I carry her in a backpack up and down the elevator. There's too many dogs here that the owners are not really responsible, and I don't want her getting attacked. She's already been attacked, by irresponsible owners letting their dogs just roam wild. Um, but she was shaking, trembling. So it's like, oh, So if I see that it's making her uncomfortable, I will put her back on it, but a lower dose. But now I'm rambling. So yeah, I was talking about medication. So yeah, if it's not life threatening, if I can figure out how to get through it without meds, then I will get through it without meds. I am like so sensitive to the fillers that they put in medication and just my body just I guess cuz we didn't grow up going to the doctors every 5 minutes and getting antibiotics for every single thing. We just didn't. It was, we didn't have the money, one, and two, it wasn't the culture. We figured it out, homeopathic. We figured it out. So, um, and that's what I do now. Um, but I felt like I was spiraling a little bit. So I did take some anxiety stuff. And then, when I feel like I'm reset, then I stop. Um, because meds like that aren't, well, I don't want to go into that because there's some people who actually, like, they have to take it is life or death, you know. So, for me, that's my choice. Anyway, oh, and then speaking about that, so when you go up for the Eucharist and for the communion, you get the bread, and we didn't really. When I was growing up in our church, we only the priest drank the wine, not the parishioners. We just did the wafers, um, and then they started doing it, but you can kind of refuse it, and then, from the chalice. I'm trying to remember. Maybe because I was not. I don't even remember. It's possible, but they use real wine, and I thought they moved away from the real wine. because I don't know. I've been going to other church services. I don't know. And like a lot of times I wouldn't go up for communion because you got to go through confession. Catholics, you're not supposed to, like divorce, so you're really not supposed to take communion. They're still harping on that. But I think one of the priests in a confessional told me I could still get communion because. But anyway, I'm just really going off on a tangent. So my point is that when I went up for communion at the services the other day, and they came around with the wafers, so I got that, and then they had the chalice, and I went to in to take a sip, and I could smell the wine, and I haven't had anything to drink in like 8 or 9 years or whatever, and I could smell it, and I was like, so I didn't. I just let it touch my lips, and the priest was probably like, "What the?" Because he was like, I just let it touch my lips, and then tonight when I went up, um, and then it didn't really smell like it's kind of smelled like grape juice because I know they have an option now. I found out after, and I just let it touch my lips, um, because it's not that it's going to set me off. Because I asked some of the ushers, like tonight after I left, I said, "Is that real wine in there?" And they said, "Yeah, but you can if you do a hand gesture, like you can do this, and they'll bring you like it in a little cup, and then you can choose the grape juice." So that's what I'll do. Because they said we don't want to send anybody's recovery off the rails, and it's like, no, I'm not in like the recovery in the sense of you know I'm you know I just stopped drinking like 9 years ago. I just stopped. Um, and I have said, and I said this before, and I got side eyed. I didn't have a drinking problem. I had a problem when I drank, which I read that somewhere. And, people are like, so that, you know, it's a whole thing because there's alcoholics on both sides of my family. It's genetic, drug addicts on both sides of my family. I didn't pick up the drug gene, and my mom has the no drug gene because she doesn't do. Um, I just didn't pick up that gene, thank God, because I would not be sitting here if I did. The alcohol, yeah, I could definitely say, like, because the saying is one is too much and 1,000 is not enough. I've been there, and I've been blackout drunk. So yes, I could say that I'm an alcoholic, but at the same time, I'm trying to think. Like when I just stopped drinking, it wasn't like a fight. It wasn't like, I need, it wasn't that way. It was just like I just stopped. So, um, so I don't know. I have to ask my sister because she kind of went through a thing where she was drinking wine, like, yeah, the whole wine thing. I noticed that like a decade ago when, like, because wine and beer has always been kind of like the lightweight. I remember my dad saying something like, well, I just drink beer. It's not like I drink alcohol. It's like, oh my God. you know, so people are just like thinking beer and wine is not the same thing as hard liquor, and if you drink, yeah, whatever. But my sister, not too, it was years ago, really. She had mentioned something. Oh no, that's right. She did at my nephew's wedding. She was drinking. Oh, so yeah. So uh, a few years before that, she had said something to me about, yeah, I found myself drinking wine alone, or too much wine or whatever, so I stopped. But she might have stopped for a while, but I don't know. I'd have to ask her, but um yeah, she felt like she was having a problem, so she stopped. But then she did drink at my nephew's wedding, so I don't know. We're not close, but um But yeah, I just stopped. Yeah, there was a period of time I was drinking a lot of wine and I was collecting bottles, but this was before it was a trend. Matus, because I love the bottles. Um, yeah, I had a wine problem, but way before it was trending. And then when it started trending, and then I remember one day I was at Publix. This was in Florida, and they had like a big. They would have wine specials, right? And so there was a big like basket filled with wine bottles, and it was like half off or a quarter off or whatever. And I walked into the store and it was to the right, and there was a crowd of women around this basket grabbing these wine bottles. I was like, "Oh my!" That's when I realized that. Um, I mean, it's always kind of been, but like was became like they somehow like with the social media platforms and with influences, it somehow became like a trend like that. It was the it thing to have these big huge glasses of wine, and and then women like wine can mess you up. They can mess you up. um so the alcoholism and stuff just spiked because people had in their head that I'm just having a glass of wine. Meanwhile, it was like the glass was this big, and it was actually the whole bottle of wine in one glass. But yeah, wine that's not bad. Beer, yeah, but it is. And so then all these wineries opened up everywhere. So it's this big old trendy thing. I mean, there's still wineries open it, but I think it kind of is like slowing down, and people are like, man, shit's happening. I tell you, the best wine I ever had is lavender wine. My cousin, this is right before I stopped drinking. We went to the winery up by her house in upstate New York, and so the taste testing, and they had this lavender wine, and I was like, "Oh, damn, this is good." And so then I bought a bottle of that, and then we went to the bar and got smashed. I mean, we weren't driving or anything. We got smashed. She lost her favorite shoes. Uh, I spent too much money. Yeah. Um, and then we called my cousin in California, who was also drunk. Yeah. I mean, this is not too long ago, too. So yeah, I mean, it's a problem on both sides of my family. But yeah, that lavender wine was good though. And then, like I said, I just stopped. I was a little worried when I went to my nephew's wedding a couple of years ago. I was like a little worried that I would like want to have a drink, and I didn't really want to, So I did take my some of my anxiety medication with me, so I didn't. And I didn't. I really didn't have the desire to. And then they had a toast, but I just, pretended I took a sip. So I didn't really have the desire to. And then there's been a couple of events and stuff with family, and, you know, didn't. Now, I had not too long ago, I did have I don't know if I want to say if I had um, like an urge or whatever. I don't know. Maybe it was like a fleeting thought, like, yeah, I could go have a cocktail. But it wasn't any like anything. Just kind of passed. Like, I guess like every now and then, because I quit smoking, it'll be 10 years next month. Um, that I, like the other day, I was doing something, and just for like a fleeting second, I had like this urge, oh, I should go smoke a cigarette. Like, like the whole ritual thing of it all. And I was like, oh, I don't smoke. I mean, it was just like this fleeting urge thing. So I don't know. It's weird. But yeah, that was a tangent. So let me see what else is in my feed, and then I got to go to bed. Let's see. Let's look at this one. Um, oh yeah, Reuben the Bulldog. I watch that occasionally. He's an old guy, old man. He's like 10 years old or something. That's old for a bulldog. Oh, this one woman, the nerve with Maureen Callahan. I don't like her. So this is the title of her video. Again, I don't know why it's in my feed. I don't think I'm subscribed to her. I might be though. I might have picked something up and liked it, but I don't like her. Her title is Hoda Kotb's performative Savannah interview. Grief gets the body language. What the? Why are they dragging on Hoda? Shut up. You know, it's a friend of hers. What's this? Oh, this is so. I don't even know who this is. Mama. Thursday morning. Canapion. I don't even know what that means. Canapion. Pinon. I don't even know. The Lab. Call-in show. I used to follow this guy. I used to follow the interview room with Chris McDonough. I don't like him. So I stopped following him, and then him and the guy. I think his name is Josh. Um, they're best buds. So I must just be in a general feed. The Lab. So with Dr. Gary Bricado. I'm telling you, this guy is always on the interview room and some other shows. This guy is creepy. He's creepy. And I would not be one bit surprised if shit came out about him because he is creepy as all get out. He gives me serial killer vibes. I'm sorry. Like creepy. So, um, there is, what is this, Don? Meta and Google found liable in social media. Ooh, let me listen to that. It's a short with Don Lemon. Let me listen. Good, 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 good. That is big because remember, for those of you of a certain age, remember when smoking, when doctors, when they used to say, smoking's not bad for you. It's not addicting. Um, and and then they would have doctors smoking cigarettes, encouraging people to smoke cigarettes on commercials. There were ads running that the doctors were saying it's fine, smoke away, it's good for you, blah 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 blah. Look it up. You can find the YouTube commercials, old time commercials, advertisements about how it's good for you. Um, and of course, the tobacco companies, they were, big time. Doctors were making big time money to push that. Same thing with the pills, with the opioids or whatever, synthetic heroin. Same thing. When these pain pills first came out, and they were like, they're not addictive. What are you talking about? And I'm telling you, as a person who has a, drug addicts on both sides of the family, that it's a genetic thing that that once you do heroin, if you have that makeup in your gene, you are addicted immediately the first time. So these pills that they put out, they were prescribing legal heroin. That I have friends and family who died from this, that they took that pill one time and that was it. They were done and addicted to it. And they were putting out for years and years that it's not addicted, it's not this, it's not that. I don't even know why they're still on the market. I really don't. They should not be on the market. Um, and 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 I'm glad that that she won this case, because it they do that stuff. Just like I tell you with the private equity bullshit, buying stuff, it's pharmaceutical. This is who runs the world. Pharmaceutical, insurance companies run the world. I used to say banks. I used to say pharmaceutical, banks, insurance companies, different order but the banks, I don't know, maybe it's pharmaceutical and insurance companies run the world. It's craziness. Um, and the drugging of America, because out of the 300 million people in here, like 90% of the population is drugged up, like medication. So um, it's not like that in other countries. They rule this world. So of course these social media platforms are going to get in on that cash. Of course they are. The advertising and subliminal messages. And now this whole casino bullshit thing that they're doing, and that celebrities are participating in this, that is a predatory, that's predatory. And for these celebrities to be, it's mostly started kind of out with the influencers, but now celebrities are getting in on all these gambling online things on your phone and all this other, like, this is the greatest thing since sliced bread, you know? Um, and all these what are they called? The game rooms and stuff that they have in the local businesses. Uh, I forget what they're called, but like it's predatory. And it's lining people's pockets that should be not lined anymore. So for Meta and YouTube and Google to be in on it, yeah, because they're getting paid, so they don't care how detrimental it is, as long as they're getting paid and they're lining their pockets. Just like with these gambling things, um, it's so predatory. It's so predatory. And like locally around here, they're like, oh, but we're making money. So the owners of these businesses that are raking in money, but meanwhile it's hitting up the population that is hurting the most. People that don't have the money to be going out and putting money in slot machines or gambling on your phone or whatever. It's people who don't have the money, lining pockets of the people that do have too much money. So, ugh, ugh, ugh. It's just ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. And maybe that's part of the reason why I really fight against meds, because the medication of the slumlording of America, the medicating of America, it's just a lot. It's just too much. Ugh. Back to my feed, and then I got to go to sleep. So we got the makeup chair, which I don't think I'm subscribed to her, but she was talking about the arch technique. Makeup for mature eyes that instantly lift mature eyes, even if you're not old, I think she says. Uh, so we got Milo. Where's your ball? Oh, so it's Rock, um, the rock star, which I love that channel. Voiceover for animals, mostly dogs. And then also Canine Convoy, celebrating a birthday. And then Father David, he's over. He's an Episcopal retired Episcopal priest over in Hawaii, and he puts out his content is condemning the administration. And then Poppy, the prairie dog. What is Father David saying today? Mm, mhm. It's true. Um, like I said on my other one, my other live, that this felon and his goons took away services that were saving lives and keeping people healthy, and keeping their head above water, taking food out of children's mouths, taking health care away from people who desperately needed it, farmers, food for all of us, taking away programs, cutting and slashing programs to line their pockets and then to uh, fund bombs killing children in another country, killing and harming people in our country to kill babies and children and other people, civilians in another country. That's what they're doing. That's exactly what they're doing. Both of them. That warmonger, genocidal maniac Netanyahu with another warmonger, genocidal maniac murderer in this country. That's what they're doing. And we're all sitting down here on the ground, and, you know, they should not be holding these powerful positions. They're it's insane. So yeah, we're at a crossroads. I don't know. Like, maybe this is it, you know? Maybe this is it for all of us. you know. So anyway, I'm sorry, another rant. Let's see. I think one more, and then we're gonna go. Ascension presents Father Mike Schmidt. I used to like him, and he did this Bible in a year thing, which I didn't follow. I wanted to, um, until he started carrying water for the felon. He was saying something. I'm like, are you kidding me? So I was like, I ain't listening to you anymore because you're a maggot. Oof. And that's the Catholic Church. It's the Catholic Church. I follow this one. What's the name of her channel? I don't want to click on it because I don't want to lose my spot. She lives in. Does she live in Switzerland? And she's part Korean, and she has a black lab, and she does all like doggy spa things with it. So cute. It's so cute. Um, there's Jolene, and then another canine convoy. Happy birthday, bear. Um, oh, Chili. TLC's Chili slammed for donations to Trump. Yep, yep. In town today, and I got a lot of dirty looks. So, because you're MAGA coded, that's why. Some of these white guys who look like they would be maggots, and they're not. They're actually not. I started following this one woman who's growing again, and she's 67, so she's just a couple of months older than me, I think. And wow, she looks fabulous. 43 pounds gone, 5 simple things. 5 things I started doing to lose weight. Yeah, she looks fabulous. Um, I mean, she looked like I really kind of despise that when people, say, like, if you lose some weight, you look fabulous now. Carry on, carry on. Like, what did I look like before? Like, so, but, and then 60 and starting over, that's Tracy, who lost her channel to scammers, and they stole her identity. It was horrible. So now she actually um, was able to start another channel. It seems like she's on the right track, but and now they're, oh my God, it's horrible. I don't even want to talk about it. So CNBC TV 18, they are streaming Vatican Live. Pope Leo presides over Holy Week Mass, Easter prayers. That's weird that a news station is streaming that. That's kind of weird. Okay, okay. Psychology behind Lisk. Okay, that's Sinister's channel. Josh Sheeman, I think Zeman. She's my assistant dog. Dog Shorts Lab. Oh, cute. Curry lentil soup. Oh, that's the one thing I didn't talk about earlier, because I made this bean soup, black bean soup the other day. It was so good. Um, I have my fresh rosemary, fresh basil, garlic, um, olive oil. What else did I put in there to just kind of uh, simmer? And then I rinsed off a can of black beans, and then I had some diced tomatoes. What else did I put in there? Oh, I have the recipe, because usually with me, I don't follow recipes. I just make shit up as I go. But not too long ago, I started I started writing down what I was doing. So, I don't know, maybe I'll do a cookbook because it was like perfection. So, where are you? Bean soup, Tina. So, yeah, so it's fresh basil, fresh rosemary, garlic, celery, jalapeno, olive oil. So I simmered all that together. And then I added the can of rinsed black beans, can of diced tomatoes, garlic powder, black pepper, salt, thyme, cumin, turmeric, sesame seeds, and I cooked it for like 20 minutes or so. And then when I made myself a bowl of it, I squeezed fresh lime on it. Mwah. And then I had my tostadas. So one day because I ate it over a couple of days, so I took my tostadas, put a little butter on it, and kind of let it soak in the soup. And then one night um, I heated it up and I just kind of strained the beans and tomatoes out and put it on a tostada and then squeezed some lime. Oh, that's making me hungry. But yeah. And I made other bean soup and I got recipes from the people I follow on YouTube and then I add my own stuff to it. But yeah. So I don't know. I was thinking of like doing a little cooking thing, but like I said, I got to get all my camera gear unpacked, and I want to do maybe a little cooking thing, maybe a little design DI, is it DIY design. Like I have my room divider up with my twinkle lights up. I laid out my wood faux wood foam flooring. That looks pretty nice. I'm going to do some more stuff in my bathroom, so I might show that stuff. I don't know, but yeah, that bean soup. And then the last couple of nights, I just get the little mini little red potatoes, little baby potatoes, red and white. Chop them up and then fry them up in olive oil, and with the oh, what's that seasoning? Um, Not tahini. Uh, oh, it's Mexican seasoning. It's got all the good spicy stuff in it. I can't even think of the name of it. Hang on a second. Now it's going to drive me nuts. Tahine, tahine, tahine. That's what it is. Um, yeah, and that has chili peppers, dehydrated lime juice, and sea salt. Yeah. Mhm. Sprinkled that on there with my flake salt, fried it up. That was delicious. Today I added an egg in it. Delicious. Yeah, so yeah, like I said, I started writing down. I have a whole stack of them, so maybe I'll do a little. Like I could do a little cheapy, like because everybody can do their own um, uh, publishing, self-publishing stuff. So my cousins have books on Amazon. So, but anyway, I think that's it. I keep saying that, and I should really already be asleep. But the other night, I didn't even go to bed until 6 o'clock in the morning. Like I just go through this phase, and then um, one night I just stayed up. I just broke night. We used to call it break night, where you just stay up all night. Like, cause if I can't sleep, I don't fight it, and I don't. It doesn't stress me out. I just stay up and do whatever, and take naps during the day to make up for it, or like sleep for 10 hours the next day. Like Cassie, she is like right on my schedule. Like whatever schedule I'm on, she's on. So it works out perfect. Um, so that's good. Trying to think. What else? I think that's it. I think I'm just rambling because my brain is going. Like I said, my ADHD is on fire, and I got to get up in like 5 hours. I got to get up at like 6:30, maybe less than that. I don't even know what time it is. Well, I think it's 2:30. I gotta watch. See, it's 2:30. I gotta get up in like 4 hours. That's okay. Yeah, this is why I have this is my ADHD. Oh, that's what I was gonna do. Write down all the things that I like am obsessed with. That I have multiple of. You know. So time, and this is funny. When I was growing up, and I was constantly like asking, "What time is it? What time is it? What time is it?" Not that I ever paid attention because I was always late for everything and missed things and whatever. Um, and so all my little friends chipped in with their allowances and they bought me a watch. And I still was obsessed. What time is it? It was one of those big, like, it was like from the 60s, a big bubble watch. Um, that was pretty funny. But yeah, so I have a watch on. I have a ring that has the time on it. I have clocks in every room. So I have a clock right here. I have a clock on my front door. I have a clock in my kitchen. I have a clock in the room back here. So every room has a clock. Plus, I have on my hands. Plus, I have a clock in the bathroom. Plus, my phone. Plus, the computer. And I am always like, oh, what time is it? 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 It's like, it's craziness. It's pretty funny though. Yeah, there's my clock right there. So, yeah. And then calendars. So I have calendars everywhere. Calendar right here, calendar in the kitchen, calendar on the wall over there, calendar on my front door. I don't have a calendar in the bathroom. But I do have like a clock thing where it has the clock and it does have the date on there. So technically, I guess I do. Also, Alexa is in the bathroom. I have Alexa in the bathroom and Alexa out here. So I will ask her what time it is, and the clock is right. All I need to do is like turn my head or look down, but I will ask her what time it is. Also, weather. So I have a thermometer or whatever, temperature and humidity reader here, digital. I have one in the back room here. I also have a barometer on the wall. Um, Again, always asking Alexa. Um, I have multiple planners and calendars, um, and what else? Scissors. I have scissors everywhere. Like I have to have scissors right within my arm's length. So I have a pair of scissors here, over there, in the kitchen, in the bathroom, at my desk, everywhere. Scissors everywhere. I have to have, and still I'm looking for scissors. It's just the way my brain works. I'm trying to think what else that I'm like obsessed with. Twinkle lights. I have them everywhere. I have twinkle lights everywhere. Um, the solar lights. I have some really pretty blue solar lights. Like, and I just got that little solar lantern. Glasses, sunglasses, and glasses. Obsessed with multiple pairs of glasses. Um, Sunglasses. I have a whole, like, the cloth bins filled with sunglasses, mostly cat eye. But I haven't been wearing them because these transition to sunglasses and they're purple. And purple is my favorite color, and purple has been my favorite color since I'm a little kid. Um, Candles. Oh, the battery candles. Like I am obsessed with that. Like I remember the first time I ever saw a battery operated candle. Like, I don't know when they came out with them, but I was at some woman's house. This was years ago. She had this big old beautiful house, and she had a beautiful den, and the bookshelves and everything. It was just like absolutely gorgeous. And she had candles on the shelves and stuff, and I'm like, oh my god, it's going to start a fire. And I was like so curious about how is she burning candles on a bookshelf. And I just got, I don't know if I looked at it and then realized it was like a battery op, and it looked like a real candle. Um, I don't know if I asked her. I don't know. And she had them all throughout her house. They were beautiful. And so, yep. As soon as I saw that, then boom, boom, boom. And so now I have these candles, and they are actually made uh, like there's waxiness to them. So there's some coat of wax on them. And then, yeah, they're all battery operated. They flicker like a real candle, and they have drippings. Um, and uh, there's a set of candles that I have that they actually have like the light, like the flame flickering thing on there. And so I had a whole set of those, and they got like cedar chips in them, and they look so real. And I had them in direct sunlight and melted. They actually melted. Some of them melted and got distorted. So I quickly had to order. They were sold out or discontinued, but I found them on eBay. So I got another whole set because I had ordered another set, but it wasn't like what the set that I had. So now I got this whole bunch of candles, but they had the flickering like light too. So obsessed with that. Crosses, crucifix everywhere. My cousin said to me, uh, she's like, is there something you're not telling me here, Tina? Like, I'm like, yeah, I need all the help I can get here. So I actually have a crucifix that's over 100 years old. Um, and that's my main one that's right here. And then uh, I have, I have I have my crucifix necklaces, and I have one in every room. Um, the doorways, usually I put it over the doors, but they're the ones that I have are too long, so they don't fit. But what I did when I got the palms for Palm Sunday, I um, I made them into little crosses, so I have that over the door. So yeah, so crucifix. I have many necklaces, many crucifix hanging on the wall. Yes, I have that. Dream catchers. Got a few of those. Um, Stickers. Lots of those. It's almost like an OCD thing. Um, that I just have to have multiples. So I don't know. It's a comfort thing, a soothing thing. Um, that um, I don't know. Just I just have to have multiples of it. So I don't know if anybody out there has the same thing. It's not a bad thing. It's not hurting anybody. It's not, like it's not even. It kind of blends in with the decor, so you don't even notice. Like unless I point it out that I have multiples of these things. Um, because it kind of blends the way I set it up. So people just and they come in here and they're like, "Oh, it's so cozy in here." My other place too is very. My style is bohemian, eclectic. What did I say the other day? Bohemian, eclectic, artistic, um, retro ish style. and I don't like matchy things, and but they're balanced. So while it's not matchy, there's like a balance to the mixture. So, and I do my therapy um, video, telehealth or whatever. So my therapist, I had uh, this is my second therapist. My first therapist that I had for years, she relocated to a different area, and then, um, but I this therapist that I've been with for years, I really like her a lot. Um, and but they see my house. I mean, I've had a lot of people come in, and I've also at my other place too, like meetings and stuff, and people are just like, "Oh, what do you got over there? What do you got over there?" Somebody got in trouble. There was a big meeting that I had with the board at the school I was going to, and they wanted to meet me and stuff. And one of the board members was like, "Oh, I see you got," and the president of the college was like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I apologize, Tina, for that." And it's like, you don't have to apologize for that. I don't care, you know? Like, it wasn't wrong of him to say anything, you know? Um, but, uh, so yeah, and so like when the management and they have to come through and whatever, they had to replace some fire safety things, um, and they're very safety conscious because it's a high rise building. There's 200 apartments here, and they have to be really careful, you know, and make sure. So, and it's funny because it's like young guys coming in, and they're like, "Oh, it's so cozy in here." It's like I thought it was kind of cute that they were like two young guys that were replacing the little fire safety things over the stove. Oh, so cozy in here. And then the manager and maintenance, they're like, "Ooh." My the one maintenance guy, he's so funny, Steve. I like him. He's like, he comes in, and I forgot to open up because I have the curtains closed off the little mud room because I have like a mini mud room. It's so cute, but it's at the front door. So I have my little tapestry curtain there, and I forgot to open it, and so he comes like, "What am I walking into? An opium in here?" So I say, "Oops, I forgot to open that up," because it was the first time he was in my apartment since, uh, yeah, because yeah, that was the first time he was out. He's been up here, but he's never came in. But yeah, so I like my style. Some people, it's not for them because it's a lot of things. My Aunt Bertha, Aunt B, and my Aunt Louise, um, they had a place in Orlando, and it was like very New Yorkish because it was right downtown, and it was an old 100-year-old house, and have all my things, and I was in the theater district there, and and he's like, "What?" Because they were very matchy matchy. They were very matchy matchy. Everything like uh, they were not minimalist, but they were just like very modern or whatever style magazine, whatever home decor stuff. So with me, I'm just like, and my aunt was like, "Oh my god!" I was like, "What?" All my theater friends loved it. It was perfect. I had people from all over the world stay with me. Um, so, uh, so yeah, I mean, it's not for everybody, but I like it. And I don't know why I'm rambling. I really need to be going to bed. I'm on. It's an hour 40 minutes. Nobody's gonna watch this. It's way too long. But anyway, that's it. I gotta go. I gotta get some sleep for service. As I said earlier, my ADH brain fire. But that's okay. It's better than the alternative because the major depressive disorder, it can be caused by the AD. It's like interchangeable, so you can. It's almost like uh, the phases of bipolar, and we used to call it manic depressive disorder, but bipolar, where you have your mania episodes and you have your depression episodes. Um, and ADHD is kind of similar to that. Because you can have your um, very mania type times, and you can have your very low um, times. So, kind of, in the same family a little bit. Uh, but anyway, I'm rambling now. And time for me to go to sleep. I'm just watching Cassie sleep. She dreams. She's dreaming. All right, I gotta go. It's crazy. All right, yeah, that's for putting it all out on the internet, putting it all out there. Ooh, you know what? I just noticed something. Oh, okay. Hopefully, I'm not too low, but whatever. Doesn't matter. All right, I'm gonna go. I gotta go. Bye. Bye. Have a good one. Happy Easter for those who celebrate. Happy Easter. Happy Passover too. Bye.